Inconceivable. 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 Inconceivable.
Welcome to Inconceivable. I'm William.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Wesley. And we are your Jedi Masters, teaching you the ways of the Force.
Aren't you excited?
It's not working. We're not good guides.
You guys need to work harder.
You work hard. This is apparently the Dress Nice podcast because we're all wearing button-ups for some reason.
I always dress nice.
Not planned.
I hardly ever wear button-ups, but today I made an exception.
Actually, to be honest, I saw the video for our most recent episode where I'm in a tank top. I'll never do that again.
Why not?
You can see my farmer's tan. I'm just sitting there like,
I
wasn't prepared for this.
We'll label that officially the podcast where Wesley gave up on life.
Yeah,
Wesley's like midlife crisis.
The episode
that's
that
the biggest
changed.
crisis you have, having a bad tan line. Because let's face it, that's the best thing you could have for a midlife crisis.
We'll see. I'll let you know when I get there.
All right.
Okay. All right.
We are ready to get started. We're going to flip our friendly time goblin. And I'm going to talk about Rhode Island Comic Con, which is coming up November 10th throughout the entire weekend.
Still sad that I didn't plan far enough in advance to go.
I'm sad too. You need to
So
come to
is
more
next
cons
year.
with us.
Yeah,
I do.
you do. Wes, I'm going, and Alex is going, so
Yeah.
we're excited about that. We went last year. Was
Yeah, we did.
mostly a good time, but we'll give it to that later.
Mostly.
First thing I want to talk about Rhode Island Comic Con is their impressive list of guests, which I have only seen something close to this from San Diego Comic Con, like the Comic Con.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read off some of the A-listers that they have here. They have Norman Reedus, Andy Serkis, Mark Ruffalo, Sebastian Stan, Paul Bettany, William Shatner, Christopher Lloyd, Ian McDermott,
Palpatine.
freaking Elijah Wood. That makes me fangirl a little bit.
Okay.
Dave
Bautista.
Bautista. Yeah, some of these names are funny. Jeez.
Drax.
That's Drax. They have the guy who plays Luke Cage, the guy who plays the Punisher. They've got a lot of Marvel people here. They've got some Harry Potter too, including
Wait, really?
Yeah, Jason Isaacs, the guy who plays
Oh, that's right. He plays Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius Malfoy. They've got
Wasn't he on The Flash?
No,
He
they
looks like
had
a
they
goofy.
had Mark Hamill on The Flash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
They've
different.
got, I swear, they have like half of Star Trek generation. Like
It's true. Except
it's-
for the one that I really want to meet, and Sir Patrick Stewart is not going to come to this.
they've got excited about Stranger Things. They've got Gaten.
Who?
I can't.
Oh, that kid.
Which one?
That one. The
Oh, the cute one!
Yeah.
I want to meet him!
you know which one we're
he's
talking
there.
about.
Yeah!
The one with the curly hair. They've got Sesame Street. They've got wrestlers too, surprisingly.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you going to meet any of these people?
WWE!
I'm not gonna meet any of these people only because I just don't like paying. I don't like buy stuff at cons. I like cosplay is what I put money into cons. So by the time I get to the cons, I have enough money for food and miscellaneous stuff. So I like occasionally will buy stuff from the Artist Alley. I don't really buy anything from the dealer's room. And the only time that I did a celebrity photo op was for Jenna Louise Coleman, which is like my number one celebrity crush. So
Jenna,
that
yeah,
had to
I'm,
help.
I'm
happen.
still jealous of you for getting to do that.
It was worth it.
I remember the first time I went to a con and I saw the guest speakers from a distance, like over on the other side of like a like flagged off area or whatever. And one of them was John Barrowman.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my friend later on, and I said, like, yeah, I saw John Barrowman from a distance, and she was just like, bless your beautiful eyes. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. That was...
John Barrowman said it to you?
No!
Oh!
Yes,
Oh.
John Barrowman came up to me after
Like-
I saw him from a distance and said, bless your beautiful eyes.
I wouldn't put it past him.
So I just scrolled down further to see the rest of their list. So they have all. They have more kids from Stranger Things as well.
More.
They have more.
You guys excited to meet the strangers?
You
They
guys
have
the strange kids.
Strange kids. I'm gonna meet some strange kids.
They
Don't
have
say
a
that.
lot
Don't
of
say that.
OG Power Rangers, which is really exciting. They have Princess freaking Bride, people. They have Wesley himself.
I didn't know I was going to be there.
It sounds like are you just doing a big advertisement for the people you're not going to meet?
These are all the guys William's not going to meet, guys.
He's not going to meet them, but you really should.
Depending on how they do it, I'm able to see them from distance. But or sometimes you get lucky.
I'm going to just pine away from them.
Sometimes you get lucky and you get to see them walk in and out of the cons.
Oh my!
I had that
You'll
with
see them
Jenna.
from a
So
distance.
lucky twice.
But don't go up to them because that's their time off. So
This is the episode where you learn how creepy con kids can be.
let's face it, though, you already knew that, didn't you?
They have like so many big so their main things that they have people from is The Walking Dead, Star Wars, Star Trek, Princess Bride, Luke Cage, Power Rangers, the Go-Go Power Rangers to be specific. Back to the Future. They have wrestling superstars. A bunch of.
Wait, go back to the Power Rangers and show me that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Power Rangers, so you'll
Okay.
have to look at that list.
Go Power Rangers. So it's the original Mighty Morph. No, wait. No. They're from multiple series. So, yeah, you've got the original Red Ranger. You've got the Red Ranger from Turbo. You've got Tommy. Everybody knows who Tommy is. Yeah, so there's a variety there.
Do you guys remember the
But-
story about a guy going to a con saying that he was going to kill one of the Power Rangers or something? He was dressed as the Punisher. And he brought in like a bunch of guns. He was able to get it past security and stuff.
Wow.
Man, the amount of crap that's happened recently.
Like no
and
wonder
like all the Punisher related things too.
Well, yeah,
they pushed back the Punisher release.
they said they were going to push it back, but it's actually coming out November 17th.
They did push it back. It was supposed to come out middle of October.
It was?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because I was going to talk about it like 2 weeks ago.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
So yeah, and they did have Chuck Norris on their list, but he actually canceled. So
I saw you post about that.
Yeah, I thought that was the coolest thing. But
I mean, who doesn't like Rhode Island? He should have been very excited.
Who knows? Who knows?
I shall stay quiet.
Well, I saw the best comment about that though when it was official for it was official for 3 hours and they took it down and then he eventually found out it was because it was cancellation. Rhode Island Comic Con likes to forget that it ever happened. Honestly, you find no record of it anywhere else. Yeah, I had to dig to find out what the heck happened. But someone said it's Rhode Island Comic Con's not having Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is having Rhode Island Comic Con. But anyway, so for those who don't go to cons normally, when cons have a guest list, there's usually about a dozen ones that you've heard of, and probably about 2 you actually care about. This is nuts, where there is probably about 50 guests here that I know. I listed off just rambling a little bit with them, but there's 100 guests, and I know half of them.
I was gonna say, you listed off the ones you care about, and that was a ton.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I was just going back because
Going back, care enough that you aren't going to go and say hi to them.
I just because you know how
It's a lot of-
expensive they
yeah.
are.
No,
you don't have to buy anything from them. You can just go up and say hi and then make them
Well,
feel
not
weird 'cause you're
always.
not buying
Yeah,
anything.
not
Not
always.
always.
Because when I met Charlie Cox, just going up and shaking his hand and talking for a little bit was free. It was $60 to get him to sign something.
Right.
To,
Wait,
to have
really?
him sign something.
But-
Wow.
But yeah, Boston Comic Con, we're referring to Boston Comic Con, they did allow you to see them free, but a lot of times they will only be there for photo ops, and you can't just go up to say hi to them at photo ops. Yeah. So it's only if they're doing signings, and depending on how they have
the
their signings
photo
set
ops
up.
are different.
Yeah, and it's depending on how they have their signings set up to whether you can actually meet them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe you can go to a panel, though, because that way you don't have to stand in line, really.
that's
and
true.
then it's
A lot
free.
of that's a good point because a lot of guests do have panels.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. What's his name? Guy from Torchwood.
John Barrowman?
John Barrowman
We
did
just talked about him.
did a couple panels at Boston Comic Con, and
He was wearing his TARDIS dress for that one.
yeah,
A dress?
He's wearing a TARDIS dress, so
and then he finished off by singing. I forget the name of the song.
He was singing a song that I only knew from the Minions from Despicable Me. That's the only way I
That's
knew
the
about the
worst
song.
way to
I was
hear
just
about
thinking, I'm like,
something.
you're singing it wrong.
Oh my word!
Because they were singing gibberish. But, no, that was interesting because they had a big curtained off area at Boston Comic Con where they'd have the really big, high-end
It was their main
speakers.
stage. They didn't
Yeah, it was
have
their-
a part.
It
for the
was
main
curtained
stage.
off, though.
Yeah.
It was curtained off for only, certain people who could get in. So we would take a peek into that area when we'd be going up the escalator. So I looked back and then I don't really, it doesn't really register. And then I look back again, and I see John Barrowman in a TARDIS dress, just walking around on stage. And I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, classic.
I remember when we were at Boston Comic Con, and like we were kind of geeking out a little bit because of the walkway up above.
Yeah.
We were like, oh man, we can look in on like the stuff that's going on. And like as soon as one of them started, they lowered the shades on the.
It was
and we're
already
just like,
closed
oh, well,
on
that
one
makes
side.
sense. Yeah.
But what are you excited about Rhode Island, or for Rhode Island?
Well, I think it's impressive that because they've had to invest a lot of money and time and efforts into making this happen, because I have never seen anything in the Northeast anywhere close to this. In fact, New York Comic Con just happened. Their guest list does not even compare to what they have
Rhode
going
Island?
on. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't see their guest list.
San Diego is the only con that has a...
Consistently has like.
Well, because the thing about San Diego is that San Diego is up to a level where they make announcements. They show like first-time trailers regularly there.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the Comic Con unofficially. Like Comic Con is not like a trademark thing, but if you were just to say Comic Con and you're not like someone who avidly goes to cons, people just assume San Diego.
San Diego gets the biggest publicity.
So
they have the most things.
And because they do all these announcements, you have all these big companies that go there, so they're going to bring their cast with them for these announcements. So naturally, they're always going to have the best cast lists because of that. However, for Rhode Island, basically had to go out of their way to do this. They don't have a huge list of announcements or big things. Just your standard.
They're just getting people to show up.
They're just
and
getting
say
people.
hi
And that's incredible. And this all sounds fantastic, but there is some concerns I do have, and that's when we went to Rhode Island Comic Con last year, there was a lot of overcrowding issues. And for those who went to Rhode Island Comic Con 2 years ago, would agree that was even worse, because 2 years ago they had to stop on Saturday. They had to stop letting people in because there was a fire hazard for how many people was in the buildings.
Do they have a plan on how to fix that?
Maybe you should just not sell too many tickets or something.
Yeah.
I think that's a thing, guys.
Yeah.
You have a certain amount of people, a certain amount of tickets, and then you can let them
Were
in.
they new? How long has Rhode Island Comic Con been
It's been around for a while.
I think they're still trying to figure out the layout for the place that
because
they're
they
at.
have they've been in the convention center for at least a few years now. Then they recently expanded to the Dunkin' Donuts Convention Center. 2 years ago was the first time they had the Dunkin' Donuts convention, which is connected by a sky bridge, which they will decide that it's one way depending on how they feel like. Like it's always one way, but you don't know which one way it's going to be. Like it changes
really
throughout the
annoying.
con. It's not great. But I believe at some point Saturday they were temporarily not letting people back into the con. I think it was like for an hour or something like that.
2 years ago?
No, last year.
Last year.
I'm pretty sure it was
Did
like
you run
why
into
we
that?
were.
No, we didn't
went
run
out
into that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because that was during lunch. Because we went to the mall, which is also connected by a sky bridge.
Yeah.
And by the time we got back, it was all fine and dandy. But 2 years ago, it was for like half the day. So people who only bought just 1 day tickets for Saturday weren't able to do anything at the con, basically. And as far as I know, they didn't get any sort of reimbursements or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, Rhode Island, it has a special place in my heart just because that's where we met a good chunk of our cosplay friends right now. But the layout
Shame on you, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Get your crap together.
Yeah, but the layout was so difficult to navigate. So we'd have to go through the Dunkin' Donuts Arena Center. And we had to go through security, and they were very like funky on what we were and we were not allowed to bring in, like weapons and props and stuff. On the website, it would say one thing, and then there was cops, and then people who were working for the con there, and they'd say two different things. And then we had to go through metal detectors and all this stuff, and then we'd actually get into the Dunkin' Donuts Center, which is basically an entire circle of people just walking, and it was just really, really difficult to navigate. And
the whole layout of Rhode Island Comic Con suffers from a lot of bottlenecking. So you've got your Dunkin' Donuts Center, which is basically a 2-layer circle. And in the middle, this is where they do like hockey games and stuff like that. So they use that area for all the guests because they just fill it up with line queues. But on the edge, where you usually have all the concessions and stuff like that, they have like booths and random stuff there. And they've got, on the lower level is usually where they do the kids portion of their thing. Cool. So you've got 2 levels there, but the thing is that in order to get from there to the Rhode Island Convention Center, which is a separate building, you have to go through the Sky Bridge, or you have to walk outside the building all the way down to the other side of the convention center, which is opposite to the Dunkin' Donuts convention center, to get in. Which there's only 2 entrances, and they're both not great.
So you've already kind of lost me. It sounds kind of complicated.
And then the Rhode Island Convention Center is like 3 layers with your dealer's room and panels off to the sides. So basically, you've got all these. You don't have a lot of circulation going on. You've got all these congested areas. So
tell us who you're going to be cosplaying while you're there.
Oh, I'm going to be cosplaying. Jeez, I just set up my lineup.
You're going to be doing Roy. That's a fact, right?
Yeah,
I believe you're Sirius Black on Friday.
Sirius Black on Friday, because I'm going to attempt to not have to wear a wig and facial hair by just growing out all my stuff until then.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have a Roy for most of the day on Saturday, and then Peter Parker at the end of the day because I have a photo shoot with a Gwen.
Yeah.
And then Sunday I'm going to be doing Ozpin all day.
Cool.
So, and I was going to put Roy in for the contest, but the contest is on Sunday this year, which is really weird. I've never been to a con where the contest is on a
Usually
Sunday.
on Saturdays.
It's a bad idea in general.
It's a main event, and then another thing is that the contest starts at 4. And
4 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
when
people are getting ready to leave,
the
almost
con
like they're thinking
starts at 4 on Sunday?
the contestant.
The contest.
The contest starts at 4.
So
okay.
that's like for 4 o'clock. That's usually
weird.
when people leave.
Or they're thinking about
Anyone
leaving,
who traveled to the con usually leaves at 4.
Yeah.
And then for a contest, I looked up. They're going to have up to 100 regular contestants and up to 50 kids. So 13 and under. So that means you're looking at 150 people. That contest is going to be probably 2 hours because I was in the contest last year. It was very, I will say this one thing, is that it was completely new people who were organizing this contest. The people who originally done it the past few years stopped doing it, so they had a completely new team. That being said, Rhode Island, for the size that it does, really needs to do pre-judging. They do not do pre-judging by any means.
So you mean take a look at all the contestants and their stuff beforehand?
Right.
And
so that means they have to do a long process.
So they have an intermission then?
No,
no.
They just try to kill time, which they did very badly last year. They were not.
Boston Comic Con was laughable too.
That was more entertaining though.
Entertaining. Where you felt bad for him.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who's hosting?
Yeah.
Oh, he was just weird.
He was bad. Anyway.
But no, but the thing is, there was still entertainment to that. With this, it was just you could tell they were just trying to find things to talk about.
They got
buying the judges time.
The thing is that they got to the point where they're actually they're doing a sort of Q&A, and then they got to the point where they're actually letting people from the crowd go and sit up on stage with them. Mm-hmm. So me and my friend Bree, we actually went up there to ask if we could go on the stage too. And right when we got up there, they were letting everyone back on. They're like, okay, here are the results for the contest.
It was just not well planned out, due to a lot of just things that they could have been easily fixed. Honestly, just not a lot of preparation. They had all the cosplayers wait outside for a total of an hour and a half because they were half an hour late. So everyone who was in line for cosplaying and all the people who were in line for just general admittance was waiting for also an hour and a half because a lot of people wanted to get good seats, and there was an even bigger line for the people just wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
It was bad.
All right, so what are you looking forward to from Rhode Island?
We're just trying to move it along.
I understand. That's all the bad stuff.
Yeah,
I talked about the things that's going for it, all the bad stuff. And here's the hope.
Well, go ahead.
Anime Boston had struggles last year. A lot to do with security and getting people inside the actual convention center. They did an excellent job this year, especially because the weather was absolutely horrible. So it was crucial that they got people inside. The longest wait time I ever heard from Anime Boston this year was a half hour to get inside the building, which may sound like a little bit long to some people, but for instance, Rhode Island Comic Con last year...
For a con, that's really, really good.
Yeah. Rhode Island Comic Con last year had up to 3 hours before you can just get inside. So you can imagine what that's like. And these are for people who already had their tickets. We're not talking about people buying tickets. These are people just trying to get in the building.
Let's just remember, we're talking about the things that we like right now, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Anime Boston had that problem. They fixed it. And their security team, I don't know what they did to change it, but all the people that at least my experiences and from my friends' experiences were all good, very chillax and reasonable about all the props and stuff like that, and they kept people moving on at a decent pace. Lines definitely were not long for security, which can also happen too. And Kineticon this year, like everyone agrees that Anime Boston was great this year as far as the staffing goes. Kineticon is still more in a mute point. People still have complaints about that. My personal experience and my friend's experience, no problems. We had a great time. The only legit concern that I had brought up to me, which is still definitely good to bring up, is the fact that they were having a hard time with providing handicap access to certain parts of the building. They were denying people in wheelchairs access to elevators. And that was the only way to get certain places. Yeah. And that's a huge no-no, and that's something they need to fix. Besides that, they did a great job. I went Thursday to get my pre-registration. Just as a comparison, I went to Capsicon Thursday pre-registration. Had to wait in a line for 2.5 hours. Not as bad because it was Thursday, so there wasn't anything to really miss per se, but it was still a 2.5 hour wait. Went to Kineticon, got my ticket in 30 seconds. Wow. It was that quick. They were... I don't know all the background stuff to how they make this happen, but they did it right, whatever it was, the process.
Boston was really quick, too.
Boston was good, too. But they've never had problems in the past, so they've had a system down.
Cool.
Well, they were also at a new place this past year.
Yeah, which you guys didn't like as much?
No, it's just like they didn't use the space that they had.
So I'm
still figuring it out.
I'm giving them a pass this year.
Yep.
We'll be talking about it next year if they don't change anything. Cool. I can tell you that right now.
You guys will hear from us.
Yeah. But, so... AB improved, Kineticon improved, Rhode Island can improve, and I hope that they looked at these past examples that were made well known in the convention areas and the people who come and go to these places.
Cool.
Hopefully they follow this trend of like fixing stuff and improving times, because I don't know if there's much they can do about congestion. I know they've already had talks about moving to somewhere else, but they said that wouldn't happen until at least 2 years from now. So that's something we're just going to have to put up with for now. In the meantime, do a better job with how many people you actually give tickets to, because that will solve your problem on the front end, and just do a better job of getting people inside the building, both on the security and tickets end. Make 2 separate lines for pre-registration people and people who are trying to buy their tickets.
More
it's not
lines,
that hard. Ugh.
I'm just worried about going back and forth because you're going down on Thursday, right?
Yes.
And I'm going on Friday, so I'm going to have to stay at the hotel, but I'm just worried because we have to leave the hotel at a certain point on Sunday, right? Does that mean that we're going to have to park like in the city somewhere, like both of us in different cars? Because I'm not looking forward to that and getting outside of the city either, because I'm not good at driving.
Rhode Island is not nearly as bad with that with like Boston. Anime Boston also suffers from the fact that it's in like a very dense part of downtown. Boston Comic Con's not as bad; it's towards the edge, so it's easier.
Yeah. Don't worry, you guys will have time to figure it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So I've done ranting about that. I don't
Are
get
you guys
me wrong.
excited for Rhode Island? Tell us what you think.
I am
Get
still
pumped,
excited.
Man.
I'm very excited. Like we said, we met a lot of new friends there. This Rhode Island Comic Con last year was the first time we went multiple days. We stayed at a hotel so it was our first full weekend con experience, and we loved the crap out of it. It's more of the fact that actually when we went, we didn't know better about how much this sucks. Like, oh, I guess it's just like what a con like this size is like. But then we go to the other cons, and we're like, no, that sucked.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems for us last year was that they weren't really clear on what kind of material we could have for certain props and weapons. So our friend Spencer made like these amazing prop weapons out of wood. It was like it wasn't hardwood or anything. Yeah. But they said, oh, all wood is hardwood. So we were outside on Saturday, just sitting outside for like over an hour trying to wait until he could get into the con so we could get his keys for the car.
Right.
So it was just a really big bummer for a long
Cool.
And just in general, the security just was not friendly at Rhode Island Comic Con. There wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry, man, like, these are the rules that we have in place, and unfortunately we can't let you in. It was a very just, it seemed like they weren't treating us like normal people, you know?
The people at Boston were nicer for Anime
Exactly,
Boston
yeah.
than Rhode Island.
Anime Boston was actually my favorite experience with security people. Those people
Yeah.
were super nice. I had one guy open my camera bag, and he's like, yo, I have the same camera. And we had like a little small conversation there, and that was nice.
One of them even joked around with me, and I'm like, this is weird.
It doesn't take that much to make a good impression on people.
But you get it, though. They're having a very long day, and have to
Right.
get everyone out.
Yeah. And, you know, just goes show that, you know, just a little effort makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Just like our friends at Nerd Caliber, who always take their time when it comes to interacting with cosplayers, whether it be on the web or in person.
Is this an ad read?
This is an ad read.
Okay.
You ruined his flow,
it was
man.
so clean. This podcast is also brought to you by Nerd Caliber. Since 2010, Nerd Caliber has been bringing you coverage of all sorts of things nerdy, both on its website, nerdcaliber.com, and its YouTube channel. They have everything from movie, TV, game reviews, to how-to articles, and videos to opinion and thought pieces on the topics of the day. But Nerd Caliber is best known for its convention coverage, and in particular, cosplay at conventions. The website features new photo galleries from recent cons nearly every day, and the YouTube channel has new video interviews, funny skits, and cosplay showcase compilations multiple times a week. In addition, Nerd Caliber has added new regular features, like its weekly Nerd News video roundtable, live on Facebook at 8 p.m. each Wednesday evening. New to the website is its gaming news roundup called Patch Notes, and on YouTube, the Cosplay Creator Interviews series Behind the Scenes, moderated by award-winning master cosplayer Lucky Grimm. Check out Nerd Caliber on the web and on YouTube, or on Facebook for tons of nerdy fun. We look forward to seeing you at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yeah, they did pretty great with getting their content up from AC.
They did.
Because the AAC was last week, and they got 2 videos up by the end of the week, I guess.
Tell you what, their content is just top caliber.
No.
All
That's
right, okay.
Boo! I'm gonna
Moving
do
on,
that.
we are flipping our time goblin.
Gary. And I'm going to be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, specifically the 5th movie, which I just watched today.
I also partook.
You
So-
sort of partook.
I
You
sort
were
of-
on your phone.
I saw it in theaters.
I have
so
not partaken, but I do love me some Pirates of the Caribbean.
I-
I partook.
We'll get ready
I
for me
partook in this-
to rip apart this movie then.
Spoilers are ahead, me
Yeah,
BTs.
a lot of
Yes.
spoilers. This movie had a lot of potential.
Nothing starts out good when you're this movie. Sigh.
Well, this movie started out great. It was doing very well because it brought back a character that we hadn't seen since the 3rd movie. It was Will Turner, but he was in a completely
Mr.
different.
Bloom.
He was in a completely different kind of part of life than he was in the previous one. Like, he's basically taken over being Davy Jones, and he kind of he's like turned into whole barnacle man and stuff, and he's just like,
Barnacle boy.
I think the dog is still alive. Yeah, and it was really cool seeing him again, even though he wasn't my biggest. Like, I didn't care for him that much in the other movies, but it was nice to see a familiar face.
Right.
So they were doing really good with that. The story looked like it was going to be very interesting. It was basically about his son who grows up and he wants to free his father from the curse that he has.
And this guy, this young male lead, is the Nightwing I was talking about.
A couple episodes back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was starting off really good. Like, it was dark, it was depressing, and it was like, oh, this looks like a movie that I can really get behind. And then it brings us to Jack Sparrow, and Jack Sparrow is not the guy who we like fell in love with, you know. Like, he's always been, you know, smart, kind of silly, but he's
Smart.
he's always like you can see that he's thinking things through.
Right.
He's always been clever and stuff. In this one, he basically bumbles along throughout the entire story. He doesn't do anything really clever, and that's kind of progressed through the other movies, but in this one, he was just dumb.
So, like, usually Captain Jack that I'm familiar with, he does a lot of bumbling, but he also has a simple goal in mind. Whether
Right.
it is just getting a ship, finding this treasure, he's got something. What is he going for in this movie?
Well, in this one, he's being hunted by a cursed pirate crew, again.
Again.
It was it's not a pirate crew, actually. It's
They
actually
actually tell, like,
the backstory.
they tell you how Jack became a captain.
Yeah.
Which
Oh.
I'm just like, why
In a
didn't they
flashback.
explore that before now?
Okay.
5 movies in.
So they had some very good moments in this movie.
Yeah, there
there
were
was
some
the
good
beginning,
parts.
and then there was a flashback, and then the end of the movie was pretty awesome too. But the stuff in between, it just felt flat. It didn't feel like it was anything that you're really interested in. The characters weren't that great, especially Captain Jack. And
How did you feel about On Stranger Tides?
on Stranger Tides, because I was like 14 years old, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I was gonna say, because in general, people like this new one better than the last one.
I really enjoyed certain aspects of this movie. Stranger Tides, it was a fun time. Blackbeard was great. I think Blackbeard was
Yeah, he
a
was in
pretty
that one,
good
wasn't he?
one. Pretty good
It's a long time ago.
villain. That was 6 years ago.
It's crazy.
You'd think they could have come up with a better story than this one. But
Is that just a general disappointment that you've been kind of waiting? It's not like we've been waiting.
I haven't been
for...
super excited
No.
about new Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I felt like...
I enjoyed it, but I saw it in theaters, and I'll be honest,
Why'd you go see it in theaters? Did you
my
think it was
cousin,
going to be good?
no, my cousin wanted to see it, and I love
Okay.
my cousin.
All right, well,
but
sacrifices were made.
to be fair, I enjoy most movies I go to theaters to see.
Yeah.
I really like the theater experience.
Well, visually, this was a very cool movie. Like, the cursed crew, they looked really cool. They used different effects for it compared to
Yep,
the
and
other
it was-
cursed crews.
It's pretty unique.
Yeah, they had...
It was like only parts of their bodies were there, and like just space,
but
like
they
nothing.
weren't really rotting. It looked like they had been like blasted to pieces and
Yeah.
stuff, as opposed to the original cursed pirate crew. And then there was
Yeah, it's like
Davy
their
Jones'
body. It's
crew.
like their bodies were like mid explosion, kind of.
And also
like,
as if they were in like water and stuff. Like everything was flowing around, like their clothes, their hair.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
the effects on the crew were very good.
The effects were really good. They also brought back a lot of the music from the originals, which was fantastic.
The actor for the villain was also really good.
What was the main villain for this one?
Salazar?
Slytherin.
I was thinking that.
Did they make
Captain
up this
Salazar.
character? Did they make up this character, or
I'm
is he
thinking that,
historic?
I'm not sure, but I think the story was kind of based off of a book, but I'm not sure.
Okay,
But
it was a Spanish. It was a
it
Spanish
was
crew, though.
it was a Spanish crew that
And-
was hunting down pirates a while back, and then they came across Jack Sparrow in his youth, and
It was weird seeing his face
Johnny
digitally altered.
it looked really good though. I think
It's
it
just
looked
creepy.
Good.
Not as creepy as Princess Leia in Rogue One, though.
That was no.
We will get into that.
That was
That
no.
was okay.
that was weird.
How was that
man.
weird? How was
It
that weird?
It was.
Was it because she had a shiny face?
It was like, have you ever heard of that like effect? Like people are gonna know what I'm talking about, but I can't get the words out. That scale of like of the realism scale where it's just weird.
Yeah.
It makes you uncomfortable.
It's that point where it's almost human but not quite
yes,
human. Where
and
it's
that's what it
off-putting.
was with
I
the
didn't have
Princess
that.
Leia in Rogue One. It just
There was some moments that felt awkward for Tarkin, but for Leia, it was a very quick scene, and I thought that's the best digital.
I don't know. I just
Face
saw it and I was like, oh.
I was excited, man. I was
I loved it.
freaking
I loved Rogue
Leia
One.
is-
But we're getting way off topic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Rogue One
Pirates.
was better than Pirates of the Caribbean 5. I'm
yes,
just
we've
gonna say
established
that.
that.
We all know that. It's true. I honestly, I didn't know that this story was going to feature Will Turner's son. Because when I saw the trailers, I thought it was just another random, good-looking guy who's going to team up with Captain
As
Jack. And I'm like,
always.
great, there's another one. Who
Just,
cares about this
Keep
guy?
going on with the adjectives.
Like,
It's
this guy's-
really good-looking,
Well-to-do.
Yeah. well,
Long hair, nice face, great
Lucky.
teeth.
Yeah.
Not fair
Gets
at all.
the girl.
Again,
Is this Elizabeth's
son?
son as well?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
here's the
their-
here's the
okay,
thing,
their
William.
kid.
Will Turner and Elizabeth got married, and sometimes they have kids.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
William needs to know
I
where
was
babies come
confirming.
from.
I was
Who
confirming the
else's
mother.
baby would it be?
I was not confirming.
Did you watch
whether-
Pirates of the Caribbean 3?
The girl, though, the young female lead,
She was
interestingly, she is
a scientist.
and Barbossa's daughter.
That's right. Oh yeah.
I was like hoping I was gonna let you
The
say
problem
scientist.
of that is that they did not. No.
specifically a horologist, which
word.
they have very good jokes for that. My mom, what was it? My mom is too, but that's not something to be proud of.
Yeah, I should know. Wait, what?
Oh, my
no,
word.
the problem is that they did not establish that very well because, like, halfway through the movie, she meets Barbossa, and he's like, "Oh, you're going after the stars. You like, it felt like it was pushed in there last minute. It did not feel like it flowed well with the story. It was kind of cool, but honestly, it was pretty forgettable.
So like
It
in the
was
moment where it's like,
enjoyable, but-
that's nice, but then like
I'm like, great.
after
Barbosa
after looking back in the movie, you're just like, well, that was kind of irrelevant.
Again, the problem is the continuity, because she is the same age as Will Turner's son. But Will Turner's son was born after Pirates of the Caribbean 3, which is after, like, way after Captain Jack and Barbosa were teammates.
Right.
Or mates or whatever.
Just mateys.
Mateys, aye. But Captain Jack and Barbosa talk about it as if they know about the history, where her mom and stuff.
Maybe she is a little bit older than Will.
No, she is...
You don't think so?
Okay, the last time
They're young. It doesn't look like...
No. The last time Captain Jack and Barbosa were actually mateys... The last time they were mateys was like 13, 14 years since, like, before Pirates of the Caribbean 3. So she would have to be like in her mid to late 30s, which would make her almost as old as Will Turner, which would make her as old as this guy's dad. So, no.
You as old as my mom.
I thought about this. It's weird. I don't like
his
it.
work.
I just feel like we missed something. I don't know.
What do you think we missed?
I don't know.
What? Are you
just-
talking about the story?
For there to be that big a plot hole, I feel like there's something we missed.
Clearly, there's going to be a 6th movie.
No,
They'll explain her agelessness in the 6th movie. There you go, guys. We're going back to the Fountain of Youth for Pirates 6.
What I did like about this is that it felt like they wrapped up the story very well. Like, do you want me to spoil some more? I can spoil some more.
Spoil it all, man. I don't care.
So they get an item called the Trident of Poseidon, which breaks the curses across the seas. So it breaks the curse on the Spanish guys going after Captain Jack. It breaks the curse off of Will Turner and all of his pirate crew, and that means he can go back onto land and be with his waifu, Elizabeth Turner.
I've never had that thought of anime clashing with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay,
but now I want a Pirates of the Caribbean anime, dang it.
Actually,
Will Turner gets to be with his waifu.
We have words like hubby. What about for the wife? Yeah, all we have is waifu, so I'm gonna go with that. All right. So
just Lord, strike me down if I ever use that in real conversation.
what, the word waifu?
Yes.
Too late. You already have.
No, like actually talking to a girl. If I ever get to do
Will
that.
you be my waifu? Yeah. So this movie had some really great parts, and then the rest of it was pretty much garbage. The thing is that Pirates of the Caribbean 1, the thing that was mostly far-fetched was the cursed pirates. But other than that, it felt like it was really grounded in reality.
It was a pretty Other than
it felt like it was tangible. Like it could happen.
You know, except for the glowing rocks and the
glowing
trident
rocks?
and how the
I'm talking
ocean
about
split like
I'm
Moses
talking about
did
the
and-
first movie.
Oh, the first movie.
Not this movie.
Oh yeah,
This movie was garbage on that point. So, in this movie, I'm gonna spoil some more stuff for you guys.
Do it.
There's this point where Captain Jack is stealing a safe in a building, and he has these ropes tied to it, and they go outside of windows, and they are attached to horses that are going to pull it out.
ridiculous.
It was so
They dragged the whole building away with
literally
horse-drawn
broke
carriages.
the building before they broke the wall with the safe like right next to it.
Yeah.
So you see them riding downtown with like maybe 8 horses with a building behind them, and they're turning left and right, and it was so dumb.
Yeah, that
and
was
I hate
really
it.
dumb.
I hate it. And I'm turning into Michael from Rooster Teeth.
Rage.
This movie made me angry. I did not like that part. Because Pirates of the Caribbean 1, again, it was grounded in reality. Pirates of the Caribbean 2, it started to shift off a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Pirates of the Caribbean 3, it started to get worse. Pirates of the Caribbean...
But Davy Jones, man.
Davy Jones was cool,
I like
but it just got...
Davy
it gets convoluted. It breaks so many, like... The idea of like what you can and can't do. Captain Jack got thrown around 50 times in this movie. He should have broken something. He's an old man, and
He did break something.
what did he break? He
His
broke like a
pride.
book. No, he was still fine. I
don't think his pride could ever be broken, to be honest.
So
Too much rum.
So I went on IMDb, right, and I looked at what
Because they're always reliable.
More so than Wikipedia.
Okay, go ahead.
Jeez.
Okay.
No, don't even get me started, all right?
User reviews.
As a college student, Wikipedia, they're a lot better than they used to be, all right? They provide sources.
Good for
You can
you
use
going to
Wikipedia.
college. Stay in school, kids.
Yes.
But yeah, I went on there and they basically listed the ratings for each movie, and it just goes downhill.
Literally.
Well, it says that this movie did better than the previous one on Stranger Tides, but Stranger Tides, it felt like it was a little bit more enjoyable just because it was a different
So
kind of
to be
story.
exact, Alex has it written down.
I have this written down on a
that the
book.
new one did better by
2%. By 0.2, yeah.
So 6.6 to 6.8.
Yes.
And I also have...
Was the first one got an 8, the second one got a 7.3,
That's like from a C to a C+.
and the 3 got a 7.1.
Yeah, I think they just have really watered down this series, and it's gone.
It's for money.
It's
Like,
gone. It is for money.
Disney, what you doing?
You know what's funny? I look at the budget that they've had for these movies. I have those numbers too.
Dang.
The first one had 140 million, and then they grossed 305 million at the box office. They went a little bit higher for the second one. They used 225 million to make the movie, and then they got a gross of 423 million for that. Then it starts to go downhill. They did a budget of 300 million for the third one, and they made 309 from that movie.
Oh.
And then for the fourth one,
That's why they stopped for a while. 'cause
that's
they're
why
like-
they went down
they were
$50 million
just like-
for the fourth one.
Yeah, they lost money on Pirates 4.
Oh, they did. They lost bad. They made that movie for 250, so they went down 50 million, and they grossed 241 million. So they
Oh.
actually
The
lost.
newest
Not a lot, but they
But the
lost
newest
money.
one's revenue is still coming in, right? No?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They lost money on the new one, too?
Dude, you have no idea. They lost.
So
they
as
did-
of right now,
they barely made half.
oh,
It was.
say the numbers.
I am not surprised. Okay, so the budget was 230 million, so they went down another 20 million for this
Keep
movie,
Which is
from the
a
previous
dime in
movie.
the bucket when we're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars. It seems
Maybe, but still, you can see they're just like, I'm not so sure about this series anymore.
Put this in perspective, more money than you guys will ever touch in our
A
lives.
lot of money, but for a movie as crappy as that sucks.
So that's kind of
That's-
how much.
So so the budget was 230 million. The gross was 171 million for the box office.
Jeez.
That's insane. That's so insane because
insane,
they were
yo.
doing great with this.
Stop.
Just
this
stick to the
series.
pirate
Stop it.
rides, guys.
I think that they should
Get
have
some help.
Live off of nostalgia.
They should have stopped at 3. 3 was starting to go downhill. They should have stopped then. I know it's a money
Right.
grab, but
And
when
that
you're
was
losing
the-
money, you're not grabbing nothing.
And that was the time where they like.
I mean money.
And that's the time when they made just 9 million, right? So that was the time where they're just
Yeah.
like, whoo, like breathe easy, like that was close.
We still made money from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're,
They
we're
made
gonna
a-
take a break.
Oh, they didn't make 9 million. They lost 9 million.
no,
three,
the
the
third
three.
one.
Oh, for
So the
free,
third
yeah.
one was like close call. Just
Ooh,
like,
okay.
oh.
Oh yeah, we made $9 million.
Yeah,
Woo,
it may not
Disney.
yeah, it may not seem like oh that's a lot of money, but when you're considering how
Just
much money
ride
they
the Marvel.
invested in
Just
it,
ride the Marvel hype train.
Yeah,
Like,
Marvel might have
Just build
a
another
recipe
park ride.
for a certain kind of movie, but they have content.
and
They have
Thor
different
Ragnarok currently holds a 98 in Rotten Tomatoes.
Really,
Yes.
I'm
People
excited
are
for that
calling
movie.
it like the best Marvel movie today. I know that's always the thing when a new one comes out, but I'm excited. This is at least the first good Thor movie. I mean, be honest. The other two were whatever.
First one was okay. Second one, I think they tried too hard with certain things.
And it's part 1 in a 3-part arc for the Hulk.
I don't know.
and
oh
the
wait,
3-part. Wait,
He's
what?
not going to have
Hold
his
on.
own movie. It's going to be like there's a story arc going on for the Hulk now that is going to span through 3 movies. And
through
it
other
starts
people's movies.
Yeah,
Yikes.
like the movies will be Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Infinity War 2 or whatever the second one's called.
I don't
Like you're
know.
going to see a full like Hulk arc.
All I know
Interesting.
is that Marvel is still able to make good movies because the last several movies
You're at least able to make
they
a movie.
haven't been crap. They've
No.
been pretty good.
I am so excited for Black Panther. That movie looks awesome.
It's coming out in February.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't know
trailer
that.
came
I
out
thought it
for
was
that.
coming out later on next year in like November
Oh,
or
no.
something. So I thought it was coming
I'm
out.
gonna be
after
honest,
that.
Unfortunately, that's Aquaman. that's coming
The
out.
trailer came out, everyone was like super stoked for it, and I'm just like, Yeah, looks good. It doesn't look anything special to me.
I'm so hyped for Black Panther.
You know what? I'm
Like-
just at this point.
What are you hyped for?
So like at this point, all I'm gonna say is that
lame stuff.
I'm not. Stop it.
Rhode Island Comic Con.
All I'm gonna say is that since my hype levels are low from that,
His hype levels are low, guys. He needs some.
We need to motivate
Get him some
more.
oxygen.
no, because then if my expectations are lower, then I can go into it hopefully be pleasantly surprised.
Your hype levels are low because of Spider-Man Homecoming.
I was just
let's
saying
face it.
your opinion on Spider-Man.
You're still
Homecoming.
pretty salty about that.
A little bit, but
seen one
that's
of-
just the movie exists.
You just need to watch Spider-Man 2 with Steven and I.
What about me?
You can watch it too.
Okay.
No. Because Steven and I are watching the original Spider-Man trilogy right now.
You gonna watch Spider-Man 3 also?
Reliving some good memories. What?
You gonna watch Spider-Man 3 also?
Okay, I actually enjoyed Spider-Man 3. I'm not saying it's good, but I enjoyed it.
I'm not saying that
End of
his
story.
dancing was half
End of
bad,
story.
okay?
Prevent
It might have been
rage,
creepy.
Prevent rage.
I know, yeah.
Cannot flip the sable. There's not
What?
enough room for me to flip the
No,
table.
instead-
Was Spider-Man 3 a trigger for you?
Instead. Go ahead.
It's something I'd rather not talk about.
Okay.
It's all.
I've
I'm
had
only,
my rage moment. Let's leave it at that for this podcast. You can have it another
Yeah,
time.
we can have a separate rage segment if you want.
Yeah.
We'll expand.
Well,
Well, we talked about that last week, so
Yeah.
I'm all filtered out
So,
for
well,
Spider-Man 3.
how do you guys feel about the series of Pirates of the Caribbean movies that we've had so far? Like, what did you think of the first couple? What did you think? You haven't seen the fourth one, have you?
I haven't seen the fourth
I haven't
one.
seen the fourth one either. And I've
So-
only seen the original trilogy once. I've only seen each one of
'Cause
those.
I watched the
Here's the-
first movie for like a week straight when I was a kid.
I know, your
It's a-
whole family was obsessed with those.
It's a
was.
very
Yeah.
entertaining movie. Like they just have a lot of fun in it.
It's fun, it's simple, it's a good time, and there's swashbuckling. And when you're a kid, that's the coolest thing ever.
But
That's yeah.
to
Am
this
I
day,
wrong?
to this day though, I cannot help but see Orlando Bloom as Legolas, and he's so much of a pretty boy that
Wesley is jealous.
no, it.
He's such a pretty boy.
I'm jealous of the Hulk. Okay,
Why? Because he's green?
So
It's my favorite color.
your man crush apparently is Will Turner's son. Your
Oh,
man
wait,
crush
what?
is
No.
Orlando Bloom.
What did I say?
You were going on and on about Will Turner's son.
yeah,
I was
I
saying
can't
that
believe
stuff
he's
doesn't-
so young and is the hero.
I'm not. Hey, there's a difference between being jealous and having a crush on people. Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. But yeah, what was you guys' thoughts on the other movies? Because you haven't seen.
I
you haven't
haven't
the
seen
fourth-
a lot
See,
of them.
I love them so much that because I got really disappointed when people like I wanted to see the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and then people watched it and they're like that movie sucked. I'm like, oh, I guess I
won't
won't
go
see
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Same thing
don't
with
listen
this
to
one.
other people's opinions about that. Like,
But
okay,
see, here's the thing: is that Pirates of the Caribbean as a whole, like, if I could prevent myself from watching Spider-Man 3, I would go back in time and tell my, don't do
enjoyed
it,
it,
don't
okay?
do it.
It was actually
Love
just like
Spider-Man
the Green
for 1
Lan-
and 2.
Just like the Green Lantern.
No!
no,
No!
listen,
No!
they
Not
weren't,
that movie.
They weren't good, but they were.
it was not good. It was not.
not good.
It's not
Okay.
even bad. It's worse than bad.
So you telling me you didn't have fun at all
With Green
watching it?
Lantern?
No.
You didn't have fun at all.
Ugh.
That was the most copy-paste movie I've ever seen.
It was bad, but I
The
enjoyed
bad guy
it.
had a scrotum head.
Why was that the movie paused? Oh.
All right, okay. It
How
was
do you-
bad, but I enjoyed watching it.
Because it was bad.
Yes, that's possible.
No.
Like, you're not
It
even
can be
doing
bad
this.
enough where you like it.
It can be bad enough that you like it, but that's not Green Lantern. Green Lantern is worse than bad. It's crap. I am sorry, guys. I'm not
It's
having a
full
great
level
time right
of-
now.
All right. Rage is
I'm
to the
all-
max
all
I
I'm
right
saying
feel
is
now.
like
that
I'm much more
I-
entertaining when I rage.
Take us away with
I
a-
really, really liked the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I don't feel like trying to taint what those movies did for me, and I like remembering the franchise as like a really fun, like you say with the childhood. Like,
Yeah.
it seems weird to call it childhood. Like,
With the
was it really
childhood.
that long ago? Like, that's crazy.
2003 to 2007.
Yes.
Yeah, we
yes,
were
we're
kids.
young. We're young, we know.
Yeah, the first 3 movies came out
But those
within 4 years of each other.
those were great. And I just want to remember those for the great movies that they were. And I'm sure as Hollywood would like to forget the last 2 and for the not commercial successes that they were.
Hopefully they stop at this point.
Yes.
I wish people...
Well, that's way
No.
worse.
If you've seen this newest one, you know they're gonna make another one.
Have you seen the
Wait,
gross for this
Why?
one?
It doesn't
It
matter.
didn't even make half.
They're rolling in money. They can take a loss. They'll release another Pirates movie. Guarantee you.
What if you look at
Guarantee
numbers?
you.
It's stupid. They have smart people at this company, right?
Obviously
Do they have
not.
smart people at Disney? I think
Probably
so.
not.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Anyway, I'm done with this rage. Take us
I'm
away.
sorry,
William.
guys.
It's okay.
I think I'm more entertaining when I'm raging and stuff.
I think you're more entertaining when you're cosplaying.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of cosplay, Cosplay Realm magazine is monthly internationally published cosplay magazine that launches on the 1st of every month. It was created for cosplayers by cosplayers. I forgot to say at the beginning, but this podcast is sponsored by them, if you didn't know already. And they are big on crediting everyone who helped bring a cosplay to life. From the creation process to the photography process, all the way to the finished, polished images. Inside, you will find 40 high-quality pages, including exclusive interviews with your favorite creators, artists, geeky fashion, makeup, and photography tutorials. You can check them out at their social media at Cosplay Realm Magazine. For more info on how to submit and get your cosplay, yes, your cosplays, you could be in Cosplay Realm Magazine.
Really?
Yes! All you have to do is submit your photography at cosplayrealmmagazine.com/submit. Do it today!
But I don't have any photography for it.
Yes, you do. You have a whole Instagram account just for it.
But that's crappy
Submit.
pictures.
It's not.
Most of it's crappy pictures.
You just had a photo shoot with
Just
Flash
remember,
Gordon.
you don't have to be good
That
to
was
win.
months ago. And
So
that's
that
not
does
my best
make it,
cosplay.
It doesn't make it irrelevant. If they ever do, they wouldn't do that. But if they ever did a Rooster Teeth like featured like,
Hey, they make it there.
Apparently, I'm the third best Jean on Instagram due to a certain poll.
You're the best, John, in my opinion.
Can you tell that to the other people who got better?
I
than
will.
me?
I'm gonna
Alex,
tell them.
You're
I'm not
steering more to
salty.
salty
I'm not
levels again.
salty. I'm fine.
Don't steer away from the salty.
I have a good way to steer away from the salty. Let's talk about Justice League.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, it's kidding. I don't have any salt with that.
DC movies?
DC movies.
After Wonder Woman.
I'm so glad after trash talking Marvel, we get to trash talk DC. I'm just kidding.
We were
No,
we
no, I made
talking
trash
about,
talk.
we were talking about Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, I'm sorry. We were talking about Green Lantern. We did some heavy
Oh,
trash
yeah, we
talking
did.
on DC.
It's,
Who am I
it's
kidding?
too easy, guys. It's way too easy.
So
Justice League.
Justice League is coming out very, very soon
Why are you speaking so loud?
because I'm super
I'm
excited.
gonna move this cup away from you.
You
It's
should be
good.
moving the mic away from. I'm not going to touch the mic though.
Okay. So Justice League. I'm super excited about Justice League.
Really?
Tell us why.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you why.
Get to the point.
That's
so,
my bit.
Justice League, the story is, so far, Batman is inspired by Superman's active heroism and self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
That he has assembled a team to fight against a threat revealed to him in his dreams.
In his dreams,
In his dreams. Well, this is actually pretty comic book accurate. So when Darkseid is getting ready to invade a world, he often appears in the dreams of the people of that world. And they're not necessarily foretelling events that will actually happen. It's just a work of your subconscious.
So does he put himself in their dreams? Or
Yes, yeah.
why would he warn them in advance?
I don't know if it's like a side effect or like of him just like being there. But when Darkseid gets ready to invade a world, the people of that world dream and have nightmares about Darkseid invading.
Wow, that seems like
that's
a sucky thing to have when you're gonna do something bad to someone.
I don't know. I thought it was creative though that they included it in BVS. So
Batman
yeah,
v
so
Superman for you non-nerds.
yes, Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool, but we're not going to see Darkseid yet. We're going to get to meet his uncle first, Steppenwolf. But the significance of that is he is like the general of the Parademon army, and
Which is what?
which is the flying demon things, basically like I don't know,
Flying demons?
alien versions of the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz. That's pretty
This
much
movie
like,
sounds awesome already.
I know. I'm
so
so
excited.
Honestly, though, like people are freaking. Like, so they had tests. They had test screenings. People love the Flash. People are kicking themselves that they're actually excited to see Aquaman.
I'm
Like
excited.
they're
I'm really
like
excited.
they're like
No, I'm so ready
No,
to be
you've
over
seen
this
the
hatred
trailers.
for
He looks
Aquaman.
so
and
cool.
that's what we're getting though. Is they're like, if you had approached me 5 years ago and said that the character I was most excited to see in a DC movie was Aquaman, I would have said you had to be kidding.
No, so I watched the Justice League animated show when I was a kid.
He was cool then.
Yeah.
And this one is
Are you talking about...
more based on that Aquaman than the classic one.
Which is good, because I enjoyed Aquaman in that, and I thought he was cool. So, like, that was my main impression of Aquaman. That might have been, like, 90% of what I saw Aquaman in. So when people were saying, like, oh, Aquaman's lame and all this stuff, like, no, he was fine.
Now, are you talking about the show where he's in
Justice
Atlantis,
League Unlimited?
The one where he gets his hand cut off? That
No.
was a really good story.
Actually, that's not the one I was talking
Dude,
about.
watch that one
No,
instead.
but that's the Aquaman that's in Justice League, the animated series.
I'm talking about, like, the OG, like, Justice League.
You mean the one running a dolphin?
Probably.
The one with the long hair? That Aquaman?
With a beard?
No, he just
'Cause
has like,
that's
the
the one-
blonde hair and his orange and green
Oh,
suit.
okay, no. Yeah,
We're talking
so-
about the good one.
Yeah, we were talking about the one from Justice League
I
Unlimited
thought
with
the
the
one
hook
that
for
was
the
watching was the
hand.
good
Here's
one.
what happened. Okay, yeah, I'll tell
That's
you.
the one Jason. That's
Momoa.
the one. Yeah, that's the one Jason Momoa's Aquaman is based off of. The one with the long hair.
Yeah, so
I like the new Aquaman. I guess it doesn't really matter what he's based off of.
Can I tell you the story though about the one-handed Aquaman though?
Do it.
'Cause it's really cool. So basically, he gets.
This was a '90s thing.
This
by the
was
way.
really awesome. I only saw this a few years ago and I didn't finish the show.
I'm hooked
but
on the story.
no, but he gets his hand trapped between two boulders like underwater by I think it was his brother.
He just rips it out.
It's like
So
127 hours underwater.
So like these fissures like in the ground start to break open and like stuff starts to fall down. His baby son is gonna fall down there, and he has his arms stuck in the rock. And he literally just cuts his arm off so he can go and like save his son. And it's a really, really powerful thing and very deep in a cartoon.
He
And
cuts
it's
his
like
own
a
arm
real-
off to save his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his son is gonna go into the lava, like the fissure, and die. It's just a baby.
He's gonna drop it.
So he literally cuts his
him.
hand off to go and
Right.
to save his kid.
Sounds great and amazing and touching and all that.
Wow.
However, what's his superpower?
Aquaman's.
He has a lot.
He
of
can.
super-
He
super
can.
strength.
So he can telepathically like talk to. It's not like talking to them. It's more like his brain signals.
Brainwaves.
His brain waves.
Right.
It's like
So-
it's dull telepathy, basically. So he's
Right.
able to get them to do. Like,
he's able to
certain things for
command
him.
them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And he's also
the question is, why didn't
did
he
you
use that superpower to save his son instead of cutting off his arm?
How long are they
Well,
gonna take to get there?
Yeah, he didn't have a lot
I
of
don't
time.
know,
Maybe there were
like,
no
I don't know
Were
fish
about
there
right
any
there.
sea
So-
animals nearby?
Maybe they were
So-
all scared away from what was happening.
It's a great sacrifice. Don't get me wrong.
Okay,
But here's my thought process: if your superpower is a very specific thing, I'd imagine that to be on your mind for like. So, for instance, if
Okay.
you were Superman and your hand was stuck in a boulder, what would be the first thing you think of? Oh, use my super strength to get myself out of this situation.
But
These are really
Superman-
big rocks.
Superman is virtually invincible. Pretty much
Okay,
invincible.
I was
Aquaman
just
is
using-
not
no,
that
look,
strong.
I was just using an example with someone with superpowers,
Okay.
and Superman was the first
let me
thing
ask
I
you-
thought.
Superman is just pulling his arm
all
out
I'm
of the
saying
rocks.
is
That's
that
it.
his first reaction to how to fix this should have been his superpowers, especially because he doesn't need to be mobile for the superpowers to work. He's
Okay.
like, "Yo, my son's phone, get him!" And just, swordfish comes down, saves the day.
Well, if your kid is gonna die right away and you have your hand stuck and it's between you cutting your arm off or thinking, hey, wait a second, I have this superpower. Let me think, who am I gonna grab
No,
to
but
go
this-
down there and
I am
save them?
taking the reins from you guys
Let's
and
talk
bring
about
them
Justice
back
League.
over here. All right, calm your jets.
We are all cool.
Speaking of which, Wonder Woman drives a jet. I don't know if we'll see it in the movie.
I don't know. I've never
But
seen
she
it.
has the yeah, because it's invisible.
I'm so happy about that joke.
I didn't want you guys to get too carried away with that though, because Jason Momoa's Aquaman still has both of his forearms. All right.
You mean his hands?
He doesn't have a son. We don't even get to see his wife until the Aquaman movie in December. Waifu.
He said it.
Aqua waifu. So Zack Snyder directed Justice League, but Joss Whedon took over for most of post-production and filmed the scenes that he wrote, because Zack Snyder asked him to write some scenes for Justice League, and then he himself directed those scenes for the movie and took care of most of post-production.
Do you think that's gonna greatly affect?
I think it's going to positively affect the movie, and the cast really, really loved working with him.
Okay.
And like I said, test screenings were really positive for Justice League. They loved the Flash. People loved Aquaman. It it is pretty common knowledge that everybody is in love with Wonder Woman at this point.
Yeah.
Her movie was great, and things are taking off with that.
Is anybody excited for Cyborg?
That's what I was going to say. That's my concern, is that he is just nowhere now.
I'm hoping he has some more oomph, because the only times you see him in the trailer, he's talking kind of like, "Don't worry, Alfred, I got it." Like when he's like in the bat.
Didn't think you're a real Batman.
Is he like Alfred's Alfred?
Yeah, and it's just like, I hope he's got some more of that like booyah, like from
Teen Titans.
Yeah, from Teen Titans, just a little bit
more
personality.
charisma.
Yeah.
To be fair, the guy got pretty much blown apart, so he might not have a lot of booyah inside of him.
Yeah, so this is not the original backstory for Cyborg. This is the backstory that they created for him for the New 52 comic line.
Okay.
Which is another thing that happens when Darkseid invades a world, is he sends down these things called Mother Boxes. Each race gets one, so there's an Atlantean one, there's a human one, there's an Amazonian one. Mm-hmm. The human one, like, something happens to Victor Stone, and he's like pretty much just a torso. The Mother Box like fuses with him and makes him Cyborg.
Why
so that's
would
his new origin.
Darkseid did that? He sent those. Why
He
would he
sent the
send
Mother
down
Boxes
weapons?
I don't remember what the purpose of them is. I think they might be portals. I think they might be portals for the parademons to like.
But
go in.
why would you send potential weapons to your enemies that you're going to invade?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but
that's just a lack of our understanding. That's not.
I'm sure they'll
bad reflection
explain
on the
it very
movie.
well.
Yeah.
What do you think
Shame
about the
on me
villain
for not knowing.
Steppenwolf? Because we don't really know a lot about that character.
So the actor described him as being kind of like really, really experienced, seasoned, but he's tired. You know, like he's just kind of like, all right, you know, I've had it. Let's get this over with. I'm sick of fiddling around with petty mortals. Like, I'm looking forward to that, because this is like an extraterrestrial race of like gods, if you will. They're from they're from the planet Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole other backstory there that I can't wait for them to explore.
It seems like they're really picking up the pace with the Justice League movies and other movies and stuff.
I think the DCEU is on the upswing.
I hope so. I really hope that this movie is good. I'm not sure because
Wonder Woman definitely helped them.
Well, yeah, obviously. The trailers look really good. The only thing is, I don't really care for certain ways that it looks, because it looks like it's either really dark or it's really bright red in the fight scenes and stuff.
Okay, so a lot of people are unsure about that. The reason I like it though is because whatever you think of Zack Snyder, I've always been a fan of his cinematography and how he makes the comic book movies look like comic books, mm-hmm. like they're comic book panels. So the sharply contrasting colors and the bright mm-hmm. atmospheres, I like those because comic books are really like in your face and colorful, and the settings are dynamic. And Zack Snyder did that with 300,
which I still haven't seen,
which is very good. He did that with Man of Steel. He did that with BVS.
Did he do it with Watchmen?
He did it with Watchmen, which is another fantastic comic book movie. That was probably my favorite comic book movie before Marvel and DC started picking things up.
Young kids
because that was like 2009. No. That is an R or unrated movie.
I still haven't seen it either.
So I own that. You can borrow it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. When is that coming out? It's coming out in November, right?
It's coming out November 17th. We are like super, super close. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to go opening night and probably see it 3 more times that weekend.
Oh, dear.
I don't know if I'll see it opening night. I'll definitely see it, though, because, I mean, it's like, this is their first entry to their, because, like, Batman vs. Superman was just, like, that wasn't really...
We talked about that, though.
DC's standalone movies for this universe have been very positively received. Their team movies have not. So Suicide Squad and BVS were not popular because they had too many characters and they didn't handle it right. Man of Steel and Wonder Woman were positively received.
Mm-hmm. But this will be different because these are characters that they've built up.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the Avengers.
Now they have enough credit where this is going to work.
However, if this movie is a success, great job for DC. After Wonder Woman, they're on a good trend. And imagine that if the Justice League movie is good, then Aquaman is almost bound to be a hit.
Yeah, I think
so. That's like a good pattern. However, what do you think will happen if just say like worst case scenario, the movie's an utter flop?
I think Justice League has a little bit of a make or break potential for the DCEU. I am confident that it is going to be good, and I know I speak with a bias because DC is my favorite. Yeah. But I
there's a
honestly,
lot out there to support that this is going to be a great movie.
I honestly think Justice League is going to be very good, and if it is going to give DC that much needed confidence to keep moving forward with its movies. They're going to anyway, but I think it's going to give them that like, all right, let's really get these out there and. Because Aquaman's wrapped filming, that's ready. We're almost ready for that.
Yeah, we
come
got some
December.
pictures for that.
Yep.
So, do you think that if this ends up not being good or well received, they'll stick to just the regular
on the chance that
movies?
Justice League is not well received,
so much so where they wouldn't want to do another one.
I think they may just shift focus. I don't think they'll. The DCU's not going away, but I think they'll shift focus. No. I think they'll try to lean more on Wonder Woman, get that sequel out faster. I think they'll try to lean more on Wonder Woman and then see what happens with Aquaman. Because, without... Wonder Woman is obviously their biggest success right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the biggest and arguably first on this caliber.
Man of Steel is okay, but
Man
Wonder
of
Woman
Steel,
was great.
Man of Steel was an above-average movie. It was good.
Right.
Wonder Woman was very good.
Exactly. So, like, comparing the two movies, Wonder Woman's on a whole new plane as far as good movies go. Yeah. So, that's
Wonder Woman gets like a 9 out of 10 for me.
Right. And I don't think...
Man of Steel
is
like
probably
a 7 out of 10 for me.
Really? Wow.
A 7, yeah.
That's surprising considering Superman's your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I think BVS for me gets a 5 out of 10.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
This is vastly changed from when those movies first came out and you watched them.
No, I was giving BVS a 5 when it came out.
I don't know.
No, I was. I enjoyed it. I've been pretty consistent on my. I enjoyed BVS, but I'm aware that it was a mess.
I won't go any further with that, but I'm pretty sure you said it was like a 9 out of 10.
Are you
walking out of the theater? That is.
Yeah. I said, I enjoy my theater experiences.
It's definitely
a 5.
Is there a particular character that you guys are really excited to see in the movie?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm excited to see Superman, even though he hasn't.
You haven't seen anything for him except for a dream part.
Wait. Okay, so I really wanted to share this with you guys. The Big Bang Theory, the TV show, potentially let out a huge spoiler. They officially partnered with Justice League, the movie, and they have a game that you could play on their website. It was like a wheel, and it had the logos of all the superheroes in different spots of the wheel.
Oh no!
And the Green Lantern emblem was there.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is an official partnership
for
them.
The movie, or just for Justice League?
For the movie,
characters?
For the Justice League movie, they have. We'll see, because it's yet to be confirmed. But they have potentially given away the fact that Green Lantern will be in the movie. A Green Lantern. Lots of people think it's going to be Abin Sur, which is the Green Lantern that gives Hal Jordan
I would
ring.
Much rather there be a Green Lantern villain in there.
So like Sinestro. But see, Sinestro is always a good guy before he's a bad guy, so that would be rushing it, I think.
Who picks the names for these things?
It wouldn't have to be Sinestro, though. There's lots of bad guys in the Green Lantern.
Yeah, it could be someone from the Red Lantern Corps, or someone... Could be Atrocitus. But it was a green... It was a green emblem that they potentially leaked. That is like super exciting for me.
Well, we know it's not going to be Ryan Reynolds, that's for sure.
I am so excited that there could potentially be something about this movie that we don't know anything about yet.
We don't really know anything.
And I'm just, if you guys can see, but I'm waving my hands around like
He's
crazy.
He's very Italian right now.
I'm so Italian right now. I'm
got the jazz hands
excited
going.
about.
No, we haven't had a movie in a long time where it had like a huge unexpected. Everything gets spoiled now.
This could be and that's what I'm excited for. Like if this is true, this could be a huge unseen twist, and you don't get that a lot in movies now.
What was the last movie you watched where they snuck in a big cameo or something like that? I know there was something like last year where I watched.
Was it X-Men Apocalypse with Logan? Because he showed up. I knew that was happening.
But that's like
that was cool, but people already knew about that.
But I mean, like an X-Men movie without Logan, has there ever like? There's no such thing. So
Yeah,
it's literally,
that's
it's
true.
like that's not a big surprise, honestly.
I'm not really sure. I think it was actually no. I think it was Rogue One. I'm not sure if I knew that Tarkin was going to be in it.
Yeah.
But he was in it a lot, and then I didn't know that Leia was going to be in it either.
I did not know that Darth Vader was going to be in it beyond that scene in the middle.
Yeah.
When they showed him at the end going at it with a lightsaber, I was like, this is the best thing I've
That's
ever
what
seen
we
in my
wanted.
life.
That's
what we
probably
needed.
Yeah.
that's probably what I'm thinking of. Those big
That
shock
was
moments.
so cool. Yeah.
The last third of Rogue One, so good.
Oh yeah, it was
First
the,
2/3.
They did have to do a little setting up.
People
You know.
are saying Rogue One's like
I enjoyed it.
People are like, oh, it's the best Star Wars movie ever.
No,
No.
no.
But
I
it's
don't
the
agree
first
either.
one to be almost unanimously better than the first 3 movies. So it's up there at least with
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
original 3 movies.
I think Force Awakens blows the original trilogy out of the water too. I think
I mean,
Force
yes, I
Awakens
also
blows.
agree, but some people would argue that it's worse.
I think it blows most of the movies out of the water. I
like Episode 3 and Episode 6 a lot.
I am a big fan of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes,
It was
that's normally there's no defining best Star Wars movie. However, that's the one I hear come up most. I've heard a lot of people say that Rogue One is their second favorite next to Empire
Force
Strikes
Awakens is my second favorite.
I know I talked about The Last Jedi on the previous podcast or the one before. The one before. But the new trailer just came out a week or two ago, and I can't say how excited I am for this movie. And I can't wait to talk about it when the movie comes out on this podcast, because it is going to be so insane. The trailer looked like it was just...
It's coming out Christmas. Well, not
It's
Christmas.
coming out
December.
Christmas, but I'm
15th.
still really excited to talk about it here.
That reminds me though is the Netflix's Punisher is coming out the same day as Justice League. I will be talking about that on the next episode. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to give my opinion on that.
We have a
So
lot
be
of new
prepared.
stuff coming out that I can't wait to talk about on the podcast, because there's Stranger Things, there's Justice League, there is Thor Ragnarok, there's The Punisher, there's Star Wars, and I know it's a lot of movies and TV shows, but it's just so
we
much.
have definitely an unusual amount of good stuff coming out in a span of 2 months.
I was going to say, yeah, because I've been grasping a little bit of things to talk about. But now we have, like, there's a lot of things coming out.
Last year, there was Star Wars, and there was another big movie that came out in December. What was it?
Was it Passengers? It wasn't Passengers.
No.
I don't think so, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Another, like, close to Star Wars level hype. Probably some sort of DC or Marvel movie.
There wasn't a movie, like, those movies didn't come out in December.
I know that there was, like, maybe it was in November, but I know there was 2 big movies.
Was it Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
That might have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was okay. I saw it once.
Yeah. Although I'm really excited to see that villain, because he's really important to the Harry Potter lore.
Grindelwald?
He's really important to the Harry Potter lore.
That was something that I didn't really see coming.
And we're going to see...
Fantastic Beasts came out November 10th, 2016, so that's the other big one.
And what is it? Jude Law is going to be Dumbledore?
Young Dumbledore.
So I'm excited.
Again, continuity. It just bothers me. It doesn't make sense. He's too young.
Jude Law's too young to be Dumbledore.
Yes. If you think about the other movies.
You have no idea what they're going to make him look like, though.
That's true.
You have no idea.
It's Jude Law. He's going to look younger than... What's his face?
Either way, really a lot of exciting stuff to look for, more than the usual for because usually we have, I mean, at this point, it's weird to say that we're used to having a Star Wars movie at December.
Yeah.
I still remember very vividly seeing the 7th movie and just being like so freaking excited.
Seeing a Star Wars movie in theaters is one of the best experiences you'll ever have.
Yeah, like when I saw, because I never got to see a Star Wars movie in theaters, and when I saw the credits go down, I was like so happy. I wanted to like people.
When the music
like,
blared,
when you hear the first.
No,
like I'm literally sitting there like a little kid.
Lucasfilm came on screen. I'm just like, ah!
No, see, that was the excitement, right? But then actually seeing the credits go down and actually letting, like, that was the moment where it started to sink in, like, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening.
So we really went off rail with Justice League and we got Star Wars.
That's something
We're
I was
excited for movies right now.
That's something I was disappointed with Rogue One, is they didn't have the text crawl.
Well, they're trying to be different.
I don't care. That's one of the biggest hypes for a Star Wars movie.
They-
You're like, oh my god.
It's a Star Wars story, okay?
Whatever.
It's different.
They're gonna be hipster.
Star Wars
They're gonna get
story.
hipster with it.
Oh,
that
they
reminds
also
me. Solo.
Solo, yeah.
Yep.
They came out with the new
Official
name
name
for the
for it.
Han Solo movie, which is Solo.
I am officially worried about that movie because
Why?
they've had a lot of problems with their production process. Not to go too in depth with it, but they had director change. They had several
Casting?
No, they had problems with the lead actor who was playing Han Solo. That's kind of a big deal. But then also had a lot of reshoots too. So we got lucky with the reshoots for Rogue One because they had a lot of reshoots for that one. Well, that changed the whole ending.
Yeah, but I still kind of would have wanted to see
Wow,
it happen.
really?
otherwise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, dude, if you watch the trailers, there's a bunch of stuff that they didn't have in the movie.
I'm gonna have to go
Yeah,
look at those.
and like it's all in like the last third too. So like that last third that we all love, that almost was completely different. So we got, but those things don't usually work well. Example being Suicide Squad, which had a lot of reshoots.
The reshoots for that were bad.
I don't even know which parts were reshoots, so.
But anyway, so Justice League coming out very soon. I'm gonna go see it a million times. In our next episode, I will just.
You talk about
You'll
that?
hear
You're
about
gonna
it.
talk about the Punisher?
I'm gonna talk about the Punisher, but you'll hear a little bit about Justice League from me.
Yeah.
I will naturally be very excited.
Do you want to go see it on the weekend?
We shall see.
Okay.
I definitely want to, like I said, I want to see it in theaters.
Speaking of going to see movies, we still have to get tickets for The Last Jedi because I need to watch it the weekend of.
But
I can't go see it like
we
the
can
night
talk
of.
about that
Well, let's
later,
talk about it
my
later.
friend.
We are seeing Star Wars opening night. That is happening for sure.
I can't do
And
it.
you should see Star Wars opening night because that's one of
You
the
can't
best
do it.
movie experiences you can have right now. And for all we know, like it may seem like we have Star Wars movies forever at this point with Disney, but that's not necessarily true.
Enjoy while it lasts. You
Yeah.
guys won't be young forever.
It's crazy. They said the gap between the 6th movie and the first movie was like 30 years.
You're talking about the sixth
Yeah,
movie
the
and
original
7th
trilogy
movie?
and then the second
Yeah,
trilogy.
that's 30 years.
Like,
It's exactly the same amount of time from the last movie that came out compared to the movie that just came out. So it was like, I think, Return of the Jedi, did it come out in 83? 83, 85?
There are definitely 80s movies.
It was basically 30 years. Like it was regular time here and in the story. So it was pretty cool.
Gotcha.
Sounds like another episode in the wraps for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Rants?
It was probably our most ragey episode yet. But
Most
I
ragey
enjoyed
and
it.
most ranty.
I
I got a lot
enjoyed
of
being
stuff
loud and
out.
obnoxious.
I think I already have the name for this one.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
Thanks
that.
for us. Thanks for joining us today. And
We
will
are.
see you next time, or you will see us next time, rather. Thank you for all your support. Make sure you check out geekkind.tv. Hit up the forums, discussions, all that stuff, and we post lots of articles and follow-up articles to the stuff that we talk about on Inconceivable on our front page, or otherwise known as Geek Feed.
But in the meantime, this has been
Inconceivable! You're still like, we're never
Hey,
gonna
we're
get
gonna
this.
get it.
Inconceivable. 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 Inconceivable.